legion to his right was retreating. This was catastrophic. He called to the trumpeter to sound the order to change formation, but there were too many Goths crashing into them, swinging their long swords and sharp axes. His legionaries were breaking formation. He yelled to them to stand firm. But as he turned, he felt a Gothic spear pass clean through his breastplate and deep into his side. The Battle of Adrianople was one of the worst defeats in the history of the Roman army. On that day, the 9th of August, AD 378, the Goths annihilated the professional corps of the Eastern Roman army. Within hours, at least 20,000 legionaries and cavalrymen perished. No battle in our history except Cannae was such a massacre, wrote Ammianus Marcellinus, our most trusted Roman chronicler of the 4th century. It marked the beginning of the end of ancient Rome. Only 32 years later, in AD 410, some of the same Goths who fought at Adrianople would sack the city of Rome itself. And it was not just Rome that fell. By then, Germanic tribes had overrun most of the western half of the empire. So how did this happen? How did ancient Rome, that had lasted for more than 1,000 years, succumb in such a brief space of time? The question has always puzzled historians and sparked intense debate. Almost every argument has been put forward, from the rise of Christianity, as proposed by Edward Gibbon, the celebrated 18th century historian and author of the epic work The History of the Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire, to lead poisoning. The Romans used lead piping for water, and even the enervating effects of having too many baths. In this book, we consider new answers to the old questions. It follows on from the first in this series on the fall of the Roman Empire, called the Roman Revolution, which described Rome's survival through the crisis of the 3rd century and its adoption of Christianity. It unfolds a narrative of the years from the death of the Emperor Constantine in AD 337 until the fall of the city of Rome itself in AD 410. Our search examines the internal condition of the Roman Empire on the eve of the barbarian migrations. We will find an empire beset with internal religious conflict. This book questions whether the rise of Christianity was inevitable, as the consensus today still seems to think. We will focus on the empire of Julian the Apostate and his attempt to turn the clock back and restore the pagan gods, as well as to re-emphasize Roman military might by conquering Persia. He nearly succeeded. His premature death removed the possibility of a very different outcome for the Roman Empire. We will discuss the late Roman army, which in the mid-4th century was still the largest and most effective military organization on the planet, and try to answer the question why, by the beginning of the 5th century, it had collapsed so completely that it could not even defend the city of Rome itself. We will talk about the people in these years as much as the institutions they created or destroyed. Some of the most intriguing and colourful characters in history inhabited this time, from Constantine the Great, the grim general who found personal salvation in the teachings of Jesus Christ, to Julian the Apostate, the bearded young philosopher and soldier who rejected Christianity. From the Vandal commander Stilicho, devoted to his Roman wife Serena, who valiantly tried to save Rome, to his nemesis Alaric the Visigoth, the man who sacked the Eternal City. And as Rome burned, the characters ranged from the sublime to the ridiculous, from St. Augustine, who felt inspired to write The City of God, a cornerstone of Western thought, to the simple-minded Emperor Honorius, who, when told Rome was no more, thought this referred to his pet chicken called Roma. The history of Rome, and especially its fall, has always fascinated both intellectuals and the popular imagination in the Western world. From the writings of Voltaire and Gibbon in the 18th century to the film Gladiator today, an awareness of Rome's greatness and its decline forms an essential part of the Western mentality. As one historian has said, deep within the European psyche lies an anxiety that, if